So a lot of damage kind of missing here from the MV squad, but if they could just swarm and Zerg on top of Fusion University, they'll be able to take point A.
And one thing about Fusion here, of course, they are putting Alarm onto the Ana, where he has not looked super comfortable. He has been nowhere near his Zen level performance in staying alive. So, as mentioned, you're going to see Envy wrap around.
This is what Envy should have done with their comp they were running before. It's basically you want to rotate to the spot where you're canceling off the Ana. Now they're on the point, and basically now their melee comp is going to be good, and the people who are going to touch the point, there's a potential that the Sombra is now just behind them, hacking them. So they can't use their cooldowns to get off the point.
Yeah, it's just completely transposed right now, but they have to remember to stay together as a team does Envy. That is how this death ball works, and they were able to get onto Bernard, get the DMEC, and take him out. Fusion University, though, have the tools to try and stall this out, so they have to be careful in how they approach this. McGravy goes to the top to try and take out Who Are You, but now they're focusing down a Beast Halo.
Who Are You almost has a blade. The problem is the team is dying all around him, where, all right, the good part is you built a blade in one fight.
Yeah, I'd say Envy played that probably as well as they could have. Fusion was unfortunately on Brig, which they basically aren't going to get Dove, so the Brig isn't going to get value from that, and you don't want the Brig to walk in into like 5 melee heroes.
So moving into the second phase of Eichenwald here, they're going to have a coalescence. They've got their Earth Shatter along with the Self-Destruct. Now they're a little bit trailing behind with Tailspin on the Brigitte towards the rally, but honestly, you know, the rally is just kind of like a nice tool to have. It's not something that's completely game-changing in a lot of these fights.
You know, one thing that'd be really good for Envy here, you save the rally, just let Who Are You do what he's going to do. You know that his Nano Blade is usually going to be successful. You're at the spawn. All right, he goes at the Nano Blade. This is fine if you're Envy. He just used the most impactful combo he has, and you're going to be back there in just a moment. I think that's fine. It's like, yeah, Who Are You takes down your entire...
Just shiny swap Monkey. If he doesn't, that was a bad shatter then.
Use the Earth Shatter there. You know, sometimes the Reinhardts, it is worth to try and get that Earth Shatter off to stop that Nano Blade. It didn't pay off for them though.
I don't know if that's worth. You usually just want to save that regardless. Like the probability that you hit the shatter is very, very low, where you could be using it in this next fight when they're going to be diving you regardless.
Rally, and Buds could honestly just win it here, but Zachary gets a great hack onto McGravy, and he's gonna get focused down. But there is the EMP coming out from Envy.
So what this Envy comp kind of does is like they're kind of baity in the fact that they can like walk up onto the cart and basically be like, hey, hack the tanks here, but you can see the Envy's supports positioning are both in like very safe spots, so they're like, if Fusion has EMP, we can both play to not get EMP'd or not get hacked, and then basically the tanks are playing more baity where they're out in the open. Curious where their Sombra is. They played to just hack and kill McGravy, which I think if there was no ults, this is pretty much the ideal play that they want. The problem is they can end up getting turned on here, where Beast Halo can't use his ult anymore, and they could end up just speeding right here. There's actually not much threat on them, so I think them playing a little bit more passively was actually bad from Envy. Even though they don't have suit, they should have looked to push these kills a little bit harder. They won it, and they're getting cart push, which is fine, but against Fusion, I'd want to be getting clean, comprehensive fights. Oh, I can't really see what the damage is doing, so like I'm trying to see. It's the camera angles are actually kind of bad.
Zachary will be able to maintain control over that health pack on the right hand side for his team now, but someone has to contest. They're going to drop down and take a look. Zachary trying to get onto the Lucio as a self-destruct comes out, but Bernard is able to take out McGravy.
I think McGravy tried to go for like a pretty aggressive bomb to like zone this Ana actually. He actually isn't in that much kill threat. He was at like 400 HP, and yeah, he basically kills himself doing that, what he did. Zachary eventually gets caught by Tailspin, but then again, it's like they were able to zone the Lucio really hard from where they were standing, and then the bomb basically forced them on top of the castle regardless, and they were able to just drop off the castle and then kill the Lucio. So McGravy kind of like baited Fusion into killing his own support with their positioning. So
Generates where you have people all around the place here. But again, it's fine. As long as payload isn't moving, Fusion's okay with this. And the scary part here for Envy is that you're going to deal with the Nano Blade here in the next fight.
Yeah, Fusion are doing a good job, but there's an Earth Shatter. We do have the Nano out. Who are you doesn't have the blade quite yet? Is Zachary's trying to deal there with it? There we go. Alarm cleans up too. A lot of ultimates committed. It is the Nano Blade, but that is how Fusion University win these fights.
And of course, now that does give Envy a window where they don't have to worry about the Nano Blade. But it is really tough that their answer right now
for Envy, it's really tough to like know what they should be doing, because when they're playing Brig and Lucio, like they ideally want long fights, but like Fusion isn't giving them long fights at all. They're like going for like very quick executes, and they're killing the Lucio and they're killing the D.Va, and they're basically leaving everyone else. And then once the sustain is gone, then they're just forcing and killing them after. They're not allowing the Brig to get any value. So Tailspin like has to swap off of it, but at the same time, like his Tracer is so mad that it's like it's a win-win for Fusion either way with how they're playing. They play to give the Brig no value at all. By the Brig not getting value, or if the Brig is getting value, then Lucio's not getting beat, and then they're able to just Nano Blade even harder.
Because we are in such a somber heavy meta right now, can allow them to stall this out even further without having to commit so many ultimates. Buds though, he's on the high ground. He's got a great position. EMP onto 4.
it's an early EMP. I don't know the fall through is right away. It's coming up from the inside of the castle. It's trading in and out though, where Envy, they get 2, Fusion gets 2. Fusion actually gets a little bit more. They're able to punish Tailspin on the other side. And that's not what you're looking for off an EMP engage. It didn't seem like Envy was ready to go in at
Yeah, I think he saw the big EMP. It was actually like a good EMP spot. But you have to make sure your tanks have the cooldowns and the HP. iShiny is diving in and he's actually getting blasted, so like he's getting micro-rocketed by Bernard right now. And this EMP is going off, and iShiny is very low, so he's not going to be able to follow up that efficiently. And we can see Crimzo is literally getting electrocuted on the stairs right now, so the follow-up is like very poor after the fact. They didn't really force Fusion to use anything either, just because they engaged whenever it was like not very optimal for Envy.
Force out something like a Coalescence or a Sound Barrier from Crimzo or Fire, but they held on to it. So coming into this fight, they do have both support ultimates. Again, though, Zachary, with the EMP, can just shut either of those down. Remember, Crimzo, if he's caught in the channel and the EMP comes out, that's done. Fire, if he uses the Sound Barrier, well, all the shields are stripped. Zachary is in a huge power position, and he needs to land a huge EMP.
And of course, that's the nice part about the Ulticon here. You get EMP for one push, a Nano Blade for the other.
Bernard is doing like such a good job of like playing the counter. He's like, there's no poke damage basically on Team Envy, so he's able to play in this very like upward position where he's basically able to spam like what you normally would do when you're playing against Sombra in these two main chokes, and he's also able to like play an upwards angle, so he's able to shoot down, which is very important because you'll get more spread. And then he's in a position where the only places I imagine he could get hacked is like standing here and maybe here. So it's really hard for him to get hacked. He can play to immediately Matrix in like this area here for both of his supports, or down here for whoever's playing forward. So he's like in a very, very good position right here where he can play to like help anyone. And there's no poke for him to really get like knocked off of where he's standing, so. Very unfortunate that was woken up. That was probably a free kill and win fight. But. So they're trading ults right now. Basically, Fusion's beats are basically to just win a fight. They don't have to use it to counter EMP, I'd say. They can but it's not needed because they have so many other ults to do that. So they can basically just use it here to like mirror the beam. It's again McGravy. What is he doing? These bombs are not good. Shiny goes low. They're basically committing only beam to him right now. The bomb is like they use their cooldowns earlier, so they use their cooldowns like 2 or 3 seconds before. And something McGravy has to realize is like they don't have Ana Zen like they did before, where the Ana Zen are playing like further back. The Lucio is playing close on Fusion's side, so this bomb really isn't going to like hit the back line, especially because Zachary just ported to a safe area. And the whole team is holding close in front of him, and they all just got beat, so they're all pretty healthy, so they can just run him down and kill him right after. Do we see this Nano Blade? He's pulling Nano Blade right here. He gets 1 slash on Crimzo. I think Fire just boops him away, and then speeds Crimzo out. Is the problem. Okay. There's no tanks to help him like get resets either, so. I think they definitely hold that Nano Blade there. I think his play basically was to use it before Envy got beat and they could kite it better with like all their members reconsolidating and like McGravy potentially coming back. So like I get the idea of it, but there probably wants to be like good follow up, and there just wasn't the ability for them to have that. Ooh. They're kind of getting held here. They're able to rotate. McGravy's playing to counter this backline right here. They really want to like kill Alarm and put a lot of pressure on him. Alarm gets saved pretty hard here by Elk. It looks like Beast Halo is really just trading himself. I don't see where Bud's EMP's here. But it looks like Zachary's ult gets way more value, because he like kills off the entire beat, and there's multiple members here to get cleaned up. I think they have the man advantage with how many ults they used, so. Brig maybe was the pick there, I'm not sure. I don't think the Lucio would have gotten as much value. Yeah, I don't think they really needed anything else there. If you have that triple support, you can play to rotate the majority of the team onto the blades regardless and just discord things. There'll be so many members able to hit it.
one more good attempt at this. They do have an EMP in reserve. Fusion, of course, has now fully changed up their lineup, relying more on the Hanzo. Buds goes right back, drops EMP, lands it on about 3. Zachary, nowhere to go after getting...
I don't see where Zachary gets pinned here. The CMP doesn't end up being like that valuable. Wondering what Elk's doing. Elk's like playing mad aggressive right now.
Fusion, of course, has now fully changed up their lineup, relying more on the Hanzo.
Maybe they're playing to engage this door really aggressively because you can see the 3-man split. Elk is like playing by the door right now, and then there's 3 of them. There's 3 right here, 3 in the back, and then it's basically Elk, Zachary, and Beast Halo holding close at the door. I think the problem is like they get EMP'd and then they lose like a ton of their sustain. They lose their sustain in the battle where they need to be able to like speed away, and because Elk was playing so aggro, they can't like speed these members away.
Yeah, Bernard goes for a self-destruct here, which is a little odd, but he does at least get the DMEC onto McGravy. So as long as McGravy doesn't get really good poke off, it's going to be a 6v5.5. Honestly, if Fusion University can get a full regroup now. But here we go. We are in overtime. Team Envy are rounding the last bend.
And here's the issue that they're going to be running into. They have to withstand against a barrier and a transcendence. Elk is likely going to open by...
Yeah, this problem is they're going to get so much value from these support alts. They can beat super early and play as aggro as they are. You can see like all the members are like they're able to beat when members are like jumping in, and then they're able to walk up with the speed at this moment, and there's nothing they can really do. You can see how many members, Beast Halo, Bernard, Elk are all running up to basically probably counter this Ana.
being dropped. Shiny, though, can drop something else. It's a hammer in the back. Buds down, hammer down also. Fusion hits
The hammer goes down, they just use trance, yeah.
transcend in the moment. Keeps his team alive. Envy gets one, but here comes a dragon. And that dragon, I think, was eaten. Dragon not going anywhere there as Envy
I don't know how Zachary dies here. Is he not in the trance? Oh, is he antied?
can drop something else. It's a hammer in the back. Buds down, hammer down also. Fusion
He does get antied. Okay, that anti is actually pretty massive then. Because that's actually a ton of their sustain. Like, after they use these support alts, they need the Brig and Lucio heals to keep the majority of them up.
in the moment. Keeps his team alive. Envy gets one, but here comes a dragon. And that dragon, I think, was eaten. Dragon not going anywhere there as Envy keeps on the pressure. McGravy is defending his team on the point from that threat, stopping the Hanzo from getting what he's looking for.
Like, I kind of understand the Hanzo. Like, you want, like, some poke. Granted, you have, like, a lot of people trying to play aggressively, but I probably just prefer him on the Genji still. Or, like, Doomfist or something to, like, commit.
It's the emergency May coming out for alarm, but he's bumped off the point, and here we go. Beast Halo now will be able to pick up the mantle of the Hammond, but he falls instantly to that self-destruct of McGravy. They are trying desperately, our Fusion University, to hold off Envy, but they are focusing fire so easily. Bernard's going to get demec'd, and with that, Envy in overtime will complete out the map.
Credit to
Rotate, will see that sight.
and what, which is of course the hero that he right. Nano
When all they come up are nails, all they really need is a hammer, and the hammer is their dive to come out on to Team Envy. Now, it is going to be a bit more difficult. This time they have to deal with the poke of Tailspin. So without a real big answer there, they need to win the ground fight rather quickly, or Tailspin can
I'm trying to think I remember this live.
run away with these fights.
So we can play through and recall it.
Back fights that were in the favor of Fusion University. Now, they're making their way around to the right-hand side as Alarm is keeping himself safe for now. Beast Halo receiving a lot of focus, and that's what Tailspin does. As Who Are You tries to go on a lone mission into the back line, drop down low.
Who are you dealing with a lot of pressure here as well? Only at 25% so far. Beast Halo punished immediately. Envy going to the old playbook of had deal fusion, which is a punish Beast Halo, but Alarm sniping from the back.
Fire isn't getting much healing here. He's getting outpaced.
The right-hand side as Alarm is keeping himself safe for now. Beast
So I'd say for Envy, you want
in the favor of Fusion
basically the other 4 members playing aggressively enough so that they are able to give as much room to the Ana as possible, so she's able to hit like a nade, and the Mercy and her can both pocket like a tank that's getting low.
University. Now, they're making their way around to the right-hand side as Alarm is keeping himself safe for now. Beast Halo receiving a lot of focus.
The problem is, Who Are You just goes mad aggro. He's got... I'm trying to find where Zachary is as well. But yeah, Who Are You just goes in like really aggressively. He doesn't even care. He gets antied here. He's getting hit with things. But he's basically forcing the Ana to look at him or basically rotate. And then they're putting damage on Fire as well. So it's like both supports are getting pressured where these tanks are actually like somewhat healthy. Like McGravy still has a little bit of armor on him. iShiny is basically full. Tailspin hasn't been tagged at all, and that's fine for them. But basically the priority is where they want to have the Mercy be very healthy. They want the Ana to be healthy so that everyone else can like be getting maximum heal output. But they're low, so they then have to reset. But Who Are You didn't actually end up taking that much damage. Like he gets hit with a heal dart, and he's got orb on him now, and then he's able to play like actually like really aggro, and these tanks are now able to like come in and start putting pressure on them while their supports are trying to reset. So Team Envy is just in a bad position. Crimson did like a pretty good job of actually doing good amount of healing while getting like focused and having to rotate, but the problem is like you give Fusion enough opportunities to kill you, like it's gonna happen. There's just too many members that have a chance to kill you. I think it was Elk put shots on Fire as well, which actually made that like very open for them. Bud's got choked. He got poked out too early, which forced him to reset, and then Tailspin and Fire I think were playing at a forward enough spot where Fire was able to get shot by the Ana, and then it just forced everything to get like really messed up after that. Yes, Envy committed really hard and like forced ults out themselves. Is the problem is you go for that play and you dry run it and then you force them to like commit ults to win the fight. But the problem is when you're committing, how many ults did they commit? I guess it's 2 for 4, so it's okay value, but they don't have a support ult to match. Like Team Envy doesn't have the B, doesn't have the trance. So they're going to run into this problem where they're going to get EMP'd or they're going to get bladed, and so Fusion just rotates them so they keep one. They're able to use the next one for the next fight. I think Envy was looking to swap anyways, so they're looking to use their to swap to the Moira initially and then choose the Mercy ult. Swapping to Mercy from Elk actually doubles a couple different things. Like if Who Are You is going to get Blade sooner rather than him having to build up Nano, now he can just play to damage boost it. And because they have two supports that are kind of bad at like living, especially a Mercy, like Fire's still on Mercy, which isn't good at this point, so they can look to just damage boosted Blade the Mercy.
delaying so well. So even though they are losing these fights, they committed nothing into it. Now they do give, of course, Fusion University the ultimate lead now, but they are playing the clock at this point. Envy understand, they finished the map, they just need to stop Fusion University, and the best way to do it is put pressure on the clock, put pressure on the team. But
I'm not sure if Envy wants to play this comp. Maybe they do. Maybe they're thinking the Lucio isn't getting that much value, so let the Moira basically become the main support, where she's not getting a lot of healing, but she can be like really efficient and live on her own, like their heal orb and like suck, and so she can live on her own, so it doesn't matter if she gets hacked or EMP'd, and then use the Mercy Valk basically as the defensive ult to pocket members who are like getting bladed or whatever, because the Lucio basically wasn't working before, so maybe that's just their idea. Wasn't able to see the other end of that fight, so. The blade trade for EMP Beam. EMP Beam Pulse.
They're able to shut that down. Envy coming into this fight, they're going to use that Valkyrie. They have to also rely upon McGravy. Tailspin gets dropped down low, has to use that recall.
And they have to use recall. Meanwhile, Zachary is being a pest in the back. It means they couldn't commit everyone to the front right now. Tailspin, rewind stall.
Tailspin, his tracer is so bad.
I think Who Are You was basically swinging 100.
I don't know who you send right here.
Up until that point, now he's at about 800 with these Dragon Blades, but still.
You have to send someone back. Maybe you send Crimzo, and then Fireplays with the front line. Like, the problem with... I don't know if they calculated this. It looks pretty calculated. It looks like Fusion's playing like really safe on the low ground, and then as soon as Zachary is like, okay, as soon as the D.Va boosts at me, you guys are free to dive the high ground then. Because it looks like as soon as they do that, like as soon as this is coming out, Beast Halo's jumping up. And like now that McGravy's over here, Zachary isn't in any trouble unless his translocator's like in a bad spot, and so any dive that like Envy's gonna like try to do on the ground here is gonna be pretty easy to counter, because Bernard's just gonna be able to like completely destroy anyone who's on the ground, because they're gonna be discorded, and then they're gonna just be able to get blasted, and there's no discord to help them. So I think they're just trying to overcommit to this right now. You can see Ice Shiny gets really punished. The rest of the team just counter peels, and he just gets destroyed instantly. This game works a bit whack sometimes. I didn't get to see the important parts of that. McGravy's been going for like very, very aggressive bombs. Yeah, I don't know. McGravy's been going for really aggressive ones that haven't been working. Who took all the damage that fight from Fusion? Or was this not any damage from Envy? Zachary does, he translocates out. He's too far in, and McGravy's late. Yeah, I don't think people are just in position for this fight from Envy. Buds is like playing the counter dive. iShiny was going like mega aggro, and so it forced Crimzo to walk up and like beam him, and then McGravy's like late following up as well, so there's basically no threat on Fusion. They use trance, and there's just no threat on them at all.
That's a great call coming out from Who Are You. He knows that the Shield Maiden, that the Brigitte is nowhere near him, and when you have, of course, Crimzo stuck in that animation with that coalescence, he is not going to be able to fade away from you.
They like reset their ult economy as well here because iShiny used Primal to like to buy room that fight, but you end up just trading, and you were already in such a bad position that your ult's not going to get any value. So it's probably better to just dry run it and then just play on the point and have someone build up some other alts.
On top of that was just the cherry on top. Now we're seeing a lot of swap balls coming out as Shiny goes over to the Reinhardt. Crimzo now on the Ana. The EMP is there from Butts.
It's super early EMP, and they were there for the follow through. Shiny went down deep and dirty, picks up 2, and as a result, Envy gets some valuable space here. Fusion still in this fight. Zachary drops the EMP the other way. This is risky, especially given that you're down players. I don't know if it was the right time, and as a result, you see Envy still fighting evenly, EMP or no. I think Fusion would like to get that one back.
Yeah, they probably wanted that one back. Maybe the play here for Fusion is a similar position like where they are. Envy are coming in right here, and you imagine the Sombra is going to be somewhere here. If you're Fusion, the Sombra is going to be somewhere coming behind you, looking to EMP and mass, have the Ryan speed onto it.
A lot of swap balls coming out as Shiny goes over
You don't have trance, so maybe the play for your Fusion is
to the Reinhardt. Crimzo
stick the Sombra in a spot where this is going to happen. So you basically bait Envy into overcommitting. You have the rest of your members, so like your support's playing somewhere safe where they can like actually be in a spot where the Rhine isn't able to like speed onto them like this. Maybe play up on the high ground or something just a little bit further away. And then basically whenever Envy is in this area crossing, then that's when you look to EMP. So I'm not sure if Zachary got EMP or he was just not in a position to do it, but
is there from Butts.
It's super early EMP, and they were there for the follow through. Shiny went down deep and dirty, picks up 2, and as a result, Envy
at this point, I'd say it's too late. Like, yes, they've traded for fire, but the problem is Crimzo's still alive and Tailspin, so they basically still have 2 supports. And the amount of follow-up you're going to be getting from Zachary isn't going to be that efficient, even though they get suit.
here. Fusion still
Bernard is low, and he's not going to be getting much healing at all, so they're able to instantly turn onto him and kill him.
This is risky, especially given that you're down players. I don't know if it was the right time, and as a result, you see Envy still fighting evenly.
They were just too low at that point, so Fusion wasn't able to do it efficiently enough, I'd say.
Yeah, the defensive response is way too close for Envy there. You were already down a member, but now he's just trying to get the poke off. As the Biotic Nade lands on him, he will fall. But as we saw there, Zachary had quite a long life, 19 kill spree before he went down. And so Fusion University forced to reset here. They've got a minute left, and they need to complete out this map.
The important thing about the pacing here is that Envy was able to defend that push. It means that no matter what, they will get another attack, even if Fusion was able to get through the castle. But of course, they have an excellent victory condition here. Fusion looking for a way in. Early self-destruct, but Gravy just lobs it on in. Pray into the gods, doesn't quite connect. And in fact, Crimzo gets picked off. Fusion getting momentum here.
I don't know how Crimzo dies here. He definitely should not be dying to this. He's standing here, he's discorded.
Fusion looking for a way in. Early self-destruct, but Gravy just lobs it on in. Pray into the gods, doesn't quite.
Oh, he gets antied actually. Does he? It's kind of hard to see.
Fusion looking for a way in. Early self-destruct, but Gravy just lobs it on in. Pray into the gods, doesn't quite.
Yeah, I think he gets antied, and then he has to like rotate out into the open. They're actually like playing a really weird position where he is able to like get jumped on by Beast and Bernard and like get killed in like an area where they like should not be able to do that. He definitely should not be frontlining as much as he was.
Flies in on the Doomfist, and now things are getting spicy. Fusion in hot pursuit.
Zachary does back away forward.
Definitely Tailspin should be playing in front of him.
Doesn't quite connect, but it forces out the Zen Trent early on. Now the sound barrier will be used by Envy, but Buzz is coming on in to try and equalize this out. He's got the EMP, but no alarm sets him down.
It was a really preemptive EMP. I think Buds could have held it a little bit longer. The situation perhaps more dire to him in the moment. Fusion though, here comes Who Are You? A blade. This could be what he needs to secure it out. Gets one, looking for more. Gonna be slicing through the Diva armor here. McGravy no longer able to play goalie. No mech to help him. Zachary ends with an uppercut.
Yeah, they trade the tanks. The problem is Fusion's DPS are both really healthy, and a lot of the room has been taken. So like they had no pressure on them basically. Like they were able to free reign there. Like who are you? They kill Buds. Like sure, there's a Nano Ryan running at this D.Va, but there's no way to hack him or anything. So he's able to just bomb to reset his suit. And then there's no cleave anymore for the backline. Like you saw, the Brig and the Rhine are playing way over there. So if this Genji comes in right here on the Genji or on the Lucio or the D.Va, there's no PO for them. Like they're not gonna really hit him. Like they can try to boop him away, but Beast Halo is also gonna be able to dive with him and give him some room. So they tried to rotate back to the point, but at that point, there's nothing really they can do. And they're just able to isolate and destroy.
Instead of going for the Sombra, they didn't like their defense here. They felt like it was maybe a little bit too reactive, so they're going to have to be more proactive with and Zachary. If they can jump onto the right target, that's a lot of burst coming onto the head of possibly the supports of Crimzo and Fire. But Buds is already making his approach from the
and they're doing the same thing they did on the first offense.
stay invisible for as long as she wants.
Bud's biding his time. The rest of his team setting up on the other side. And Bud's right now, he's also giving intel, right? He's letting everyone know where it is.
Actually, yeah, they're playing safe in the back, so this is actually pretty good from them. Most of Fusion is just like playing around this area. They're all just playing rather safe, and then Envy's playing behind here, and then they're just letting Buds get information. And then they're deciding who they want to like speed on. So if there's anyone they can like go back behind, then they'll wrap around for them. So to actually start, you can see like the edge. You saw the edge of them, but they're actually rotating out this way. So I think Fusion gets caught off guard a bit here. Because they're really able to just isolate the back line.
That was just such weird positioning coming out from both Alarm and Elk now. We're seeing the emergency swap off the Lucio coming out from Elk, but they are losing members.
Zachary, I think, should have been on Sombra here.
But even through the hacked health pack, he's able to take her out. That means he has to find a different health pack, though, and he's trying his best to run away. Overtime going on.
If he was on Sombra, he would have been able to scout, like, Team Envy playing, like, where they were, which was in, like, a pretty, like, standard position, but then they ended up, like, speeding back out from where they came, so. This is really good from Fusion. Regardless if they win this fight or not, fighting in this area before they get a second fight, so that this has to open for like 10 seconds or however long it is. So getting a fight in this area and then forcing Envy to basically be like, if you want to win this fight, you have to use ults. And then they're playing like mad aggro into them, and they can even like reset this pretty aggressively with like the comp that they have, so they can like speed in and like really look to peel out if they wanted to. So we can see Beam, EMP, and Bomb all goes off, and Fusion has used nothing, and then Zachary uses ult late. Him and Bernard definitely don't need to use their ults here at all. They can literally just save them and like play for the recontest. Definitely got too hypey there. But there is just going to be a Nano Blade next fight anyway, so. They're just poking them really hard.
It is still not enough to really try and mitigate the damage of this Nano Blade.
It's all about can Buds hack who are you as he goes into the plane. Who are you? Diving on. He didn't get the nano. He was expecting the nano there. Alarm wasn't able to connect on him.
Oh no, it's not that. Alarm is hacked at the moment.
He didn't get the nano. He was expecting the nano there. Alarm was
Can see Alarm is hacked at the moment.
on him. Now he's gonna go.
They do such a good job of isolating this backline from Envy and like forcing them all over the place.
Once more, 160 HP. Waiting for the.
The beat comes in too late.
He jumps up. He goes, wait, where's the nano boost? Alarm hasn't been able to make the connection.
He's got the nano now.
Now he makes a connection. Nano boost is up. Blade in. And oh,
No one's on the point.
yeah, Envy's just not on the point. All right. Well,
Yeah, that was insanely good. The first fight was scuffed because Elk and Alarm were in a bad position, and they weren't able to scout it properly, but
So they are going to go with the dive once again. Zachary on the Sombra. Zachary versus Buds. We're going to see the Sombra battle. Who can outposition whom? But also, someone needs to deal with Tailspin in the sky. Well, you've seen teams do that with the EMP shutting them down. But Alarm, oh, he has been so good about taking out the Sombra.
that's a really big moment here. Now Envy has to hold with him.
Buds can't die in this situation. They're gonna get snowballed really hard off that.
Again, who are you? Trying to keep on him. Shiny barrels in. They almost pick him off. But again, the goal here for Envy, drain time off the clock. You don't have to win this first fight, but you need to put Fusion in overtime as quick as possible. Fire is out of it, and now Fusion.
They baited again to kill the support.
Here, Alarm just laying in orbs from the back. Gonna see an extra dive, and Shiny can't get away. So it's safe to say Fusion will get point A here. But Envy
They're getting like no mercy value at all, Envy,
They drained a lot of time.
just with how they're playing.
They didn't feed too much over to Who Are You. And as I say that, though, he's getting
Who are you able to literally just go on the Ana, force the mercy down, and then they just kill everyone else, or force a tank to jump in and then the mercy to pocket them, and then just isolate the mercy afterwards. So
cleanly enough. Who Are You will be able to build up that blade. Zachary's going to get an EMP onto all of Envy. And then from there, we know how Fusion University like to clean this out. Alarm also coming up with a Transcendence. This is a huge fight for Fusion University, and they need to win it out. As Zachary, he gets spotted out.
Yeah, he gets spotted real early on here, but back up, drops EMP under pressure. Uh-oh, that's not what you want there. Not in the least. Fusion now is getting kind of been baited into this, but who are you? He fixes mistakes, gets Crimzo, ends up falling off, gets McCravey, dashes back up. Who are you? Able to make the most of that sort of rushed engage.
they kind of rush this engage, but the cart's in a position where they actually can do this, so they're buying time this whole time, pushing the point.
That's not what you want there.
And what Envy really needs to do is kite back, have everyone live, and then force an engage on someone. They really, really, really badly need to kill someone. The problem is Fusion can just live and then drop down and then like eat their own trance. So he gets like 1 or 2 kills here, but they're not gonna be able to rejoin the fight where the cart's given. So I think there's no way Fusion actually loses that, even if they only get 1 with Nano Blade.
Able to reset to get back to the payload here. And yep, just Tailspin buying a little bit of time. I don't know if it's going to be nearly enough. The remnants are streaming back in, but Fusion has likely done enough.
They have no more support ultimates, and so they are getting cleaned up here. Buds comes in with an emergency EMP, but there's no follow-up whatsoever. There's nobody
Yeah, it's just cleaning kills now.